normal Friday. So we'll be outside today and hopefully have a good practice.
Wandale, where's he at?
He's in the meeting room.
For Sunday.
Oh. Making progress. Yeah, he'll come out here, he'll practice today, we'll see where we're at. And then like normal Fridays, we'll talk about it after practice, but I think he's making improvements.
You've had a couple guys out of, he's been out I think 4 weeks.
Yeah.
A couple other receivers, a couple other players who have been out multiple weeks who you didn't put on IR. Is that more salary cap related and money and stuff, or is that they haven't healed as fast as you thought they'd be back within 4 weeks or whatever?
I think probably every situation is a little different. Joe and I talk about all those different things every day. We just try to do what's best we think for our team.
Have you thought about putting Kadarius on it at this point, just giving him time to get right? Obviously, he's had the multiple hamstring problems.
Yeah.
At what point is it, more valuable for him just to give him time, get him fully right, and then bring him back?
We'll just keep on rehabbing him. I think he's making progress. So we'll see where we're at next week.
Speaking of progress, Coach, how's Landon Collins?
Learning how we do things here. Again, it's your first week here. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot to pick up schematically, how we do things, but he's making progress.
Shape-wise, he's
making progress. Yeah.
How do you think Aziz and Leonard will play this week?
I think Leonard's had a good week. I think he's taking good steps. I think Aziz has too. Again, I think today is an important day for both those guys. I'd say Leo's probably a little further ahead.
You asked, we saw on some video the Giants sent out that in the combine meeting, you asked Kayvon way before you drafted him, what's it going to be like if you're in New York and you go like 4 games without a sack? How are you going to handle that? Well, he's in New York, he's gone 4 games without a sack, so how's he handled it?
Affecting the quarterback, that was a combine question, but I think he's done a good job of the things we've asked him to do. I think he's steadily improved. I think he's affecting the quarterback. Obviously don't have a sack, but as long as he's continuing to affect the quarterback and doing the things we ask him to do, I think he's made a lot of good progress for us.
How much does facing a quarterback like Amar affect the turnaround? The edge guys, do they have to be a little more cautious when they're rushing?
Yeah, you have to be cautious with everything with this guy. The play's never over. He could be in one spot and then quickly be in another spot. He could choose to pull up and throw it and run. I think it's going to take all 11 guys, the interior guys, the edge guys, the backers. He's a tough player, a tough quarterback to defend.
Is there such a thing as being too aggressive, rushing him, like getting too deep in the pocket? Is that something you have to guard against with him?
Yeah, you never really want to be too far behind a quarterback when you're rushing. But you don't know, he'll take his drop, and if he needs to step up, he steps up. If he has to escape, he escapes. He's a very unique player in this league. He's, like I said before, he's a lot of fun to watch because he's such a talented player and he's a winner.
Lamar obviously knows the defense, right? He's played against a version of it for years in practice, and Wink obviously knows him. Generally, do you think it's an advantage for one side more than the other either way, or?
Yeah. Probably not. It's really how you play and do it on that particular day. Like, I was in the system for a lot of years. You go to another place, the defensive coaches say, well, what are they going to do here? What are they going to do here? I think it's important to talk to the people that have been in certain places and whether to ask about a player or a certain thing. But if you get too far into that, I think sometimes it hurts.
Do you have any major influences in how you approach game planning? Like, are there people in your past who you've kind of turned to?
Now?
Yeah, now that you're in the position as a head coach.
No, I'd say that, I was fortunate to learn on the defensive side of the ball for my first 5 years. Worked special teams, scout teams for, my early part of my career. Obviously been on the offense. Again, I think it's important to let Mike and Wink and T-Mac come up with, what they feel is going to be the necessary things we need to do. And then, I watch all the games. I watch all 3 sides. I meet with those guys on a daily, regularly. Let them know my thoughts. Hey, think about adding this, or why are we doing this? make sure we have good discussions back and forth, and then we try to come up with the best plan. But I give those 3 guys credit as leaders of each of their units. They're spending a ton of time and really digging into the details, and then I'll just give my 2 cents here and there and try to come up with the best plan we can.
Just a quick follow-up on that.
Sure.
The timeout and that I think it was the 111-minute mark. Why did you decide to take that and best?
Well, if they scored, get the ball back and try to go down there and score.
I had another thought on Landon, more big picture. When you guys I'm thinking bringing in Tony Jefferson earlier this year, had him in the practice squad. We know the links he had to Wink and the guys on defensive staff. With Landon, it's a unique situation because he has familiarity in the building, but not necessarily connections to the coaching staff. So as you guys acclimate here, do you have to spend more time with a guy like that, even though he's a veteran, to be able to get him up to speed? You know, he's not here in training camp, he's here during the...
No, I'd say it's consistent with all the guys that come in new that we sign. Is, you know, again, our job as a coaching staff and the people in the organization is try to acclimate the player as quickly as we can and teach them how we do things, you know, in the building, teach them the scheme. We treat all our players, you know, the same in that regard. You know, whether they're a 10-year veteran coming in on a practice squad or undrafted free agent, you know, their job is to learn it. Our job is to teach it.
There's some teams last year that had some success blitzing Lamar a lot, and it seems like this year he's like destroying the blitz. Are they doing anything different? Is he doing anything different?
I think every game is different. Again, you look at his record. That's first and foremost of a quarterback. I think is he hasn't had many losses, so he knows how to win. Whether you look, I've seen people blitz him and he gets out of it. You know, he's a unique player. All 11 guys got to be ready to go when you're playing a quarterback that can play like this.
Take 2 more.
Tanner Hudson, is he going to practice today?
He will not practice today.
Is his status in doubt, or are you feeling okay?
We'll see. We'll see after we go through today.
Jihad Ward is back, Coach?
Tony Jefferson, no.
Jihad Ward is back.
He is. Yep. Thanks, guys.
Okay.